What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about the Black Ops 7 multiplayer beta, the approximate dates, plus even more. Definitely stay tuned. Now in the background, we got some gameplay of Exchange, a brand new map that just got added in Season 5. It, of course, does support 6v6 through Face-Off, and plays exceptionally well in Overdrive as well, but let me know how you guys are feeling about this map down below in the comments. You guys might be aware that last summer with the Black Ops 6 Direct, that was, of course, in June, right after the Xbox Showcase, they didn't actually reveal the beta dates for BO6 during that broadcast. Instead, the dates themselves did get revealed around a month later in July, and of course the beta took place shortly after COD Next at the very end of August. But just recently, the entire contents of the Vault Edition for Black Ops 7 did leak out from a data mine that popped up with the launch of Season 5, and of course I've gone over all these contents in a recent video in short. We're talking the Operators, the Mastercrafts, a permanent unlock token, and of course Black Cell Season 1, but towards the very bottom of that list of content, it does mention early access to the multiplayer beta. So for anybody out there that was doubting that we would be getting a beta for BO7 this year, I want to remind you that this leak exists, and Modern Warfare 3's beta also wasn't until, I want to say, October, since COD Next was pretty late for that game, and I guess it kind of is interpreted that for a game that maybe has had less development, or for a game that gets revealed later, like MW3, that would mean the COD Next event, and then a beta wouldn't be until very late into the fall. But before figuring out what the dates could be for the Black Ops 7 beta, it's worth taking a look at when COD Next actually is. So around, I want to say, a month and a half ago, Alpha Sniper, a content creator who crashed out in a video over Call of Duty and Activision, ended up revealing that, according to his contacts, COD Next would be at the end of September in Las Vegas. He didn't elaborate too much further than that, but this guy did reveal something that has been corroborated by the media, who has also put out a number of reports over the last couple of weeks that we are indeed going to be seeing a COD Next event for the upcoming Call of Duty. It'll be the 4th annual COD Next. Maybe they'll just keep this going forever, but as we've seen with MW2, 3, and then BO6, the beta would start approximately a day or two after that COD Next event. Now, even when Googling the BO7 beta, it'll give you approximate dates like September 26th or even October 3rd, which does line up with the rumor that COD Next is supposed to be at the end of September. That right there is a big clue to determine when the beta is going to be, because if you look at a calendar, the end of September is actually a little period of Monday and Tuesday, the 29th and the 30th. So if COD Next is at around that time, then that would mean the beta would probably start a couple of days later on around October the 3rd, which is a Friday. But of course, there could be miscommunication with the rumor where maybe COD Next is meant for late September, not necessarily the exact end, because in recent years, COD Next has been on a Thursday again, then a Wednesday. So maybe they'll change things up this time and use a Monday or a Tuesday for COD Next, but you would think it would probably be on about a Wednesday or a Thursday so that the beta could start about a day later. But people have also pointed out that the multiplayer betas we've gotten recently have also been just about a month before the launch of the new Call of Duty. And when you put all that together, Black Ops 7 as of right now is scheduled to release on November 14th, according to rumors that are out there. So that would put the beta probably at around the 1st and 2nd week of October if that schedule is to be followed. So with that in mind, and looking at Modern Warfare 2, COD Next was on September 15th, and the beta started just a day after that, followed by the full launch of that game on October 28th. So around a month after that beta took place. When it comes to Modern Warfare 3, COD Next was October 5th, 2023, the beta started again a day later, and then we had the launch of that game on November the 10th, just about a month after that. With Black Ops 6, things were a bit different over in Washington, D.C. Previous COD Next events were in LA. The BO6 Next event was August 28th, 2024. The beta started 2 days after that, giving creators some time to get home, which was cool to see, and then the full launch of that game was October 25th. So there was a bit of a bigger gap from the beta of BO6 to the full launch of that game, which is why, again, things could be a little bit different when it comes to Black Ops 7 as well, where there might be a little bit longer than a month from the beta to the full launch. But considering Modern Warfare 3 had a beta in October, and also taking the November 14th rumor into account, I think we are going to have a pretty narrow window between the beta and the full release. So right now, I think the best estimate is you might see a COD Next on a Monday or maybe even a Tuesday, so the very end of September, and then we'll end up seeing the beta start later that week, maybe on October 2nd, a Thursday, or the 3rd, a day later, right? And that'll be the first weekend that is, of course, going to be for early access users. That means a user has pre-ordered any edition of the game, which of course lets them play the beta. Now, just to keep in mind, if you are on PlayStation or Xbox, you won't need an online subscription to actually play that portion of the beta, since the beta is considered quote-unquote free. But if you don't pre-order any edition of the game and still want to play during the early access window, as we've seen in previous years, lots of codes are probably going to be given out over on Call of Duty social channels, even from content creators, and there'll probably be other ways people can actually jump in during that first weekend. But the cool thing that we've gotten used to is the elimination of platform exclusive beta weekends. So even during the early access window, the first weekend, you'll be able to play with anybody on an Xbox, a PlayStation, even a PC. Any platform that supports Black Ops 7 will be able to play the beta during that first weekend and the early access window. Now, if you miss out on that, or you don't get a code and don't pre-order, the second weekend of the beta is going to be open for everybody, regardless of a pre-order, regardless of a code, and of course, you'll have cross-platform capabilities as well. But as of right now, some good guesstimates are that the beta should be kicking off on around October the 3rd, and if it lasts as long as older betas have, then we should be seeing the conclusion of the early access period on around October the 8th. Maybe even a day or two before that, depending on how servers go, because sometimes they extend things in the case there's issues for certain platforms and regions. But then weekend 2 should be kicking off on around October the 10th, and will last a little bit shorter than the first weekend of the beta, but that's going to be the period where anybody can actually jump in. Now, I don't expect them to reveal these beta dates during the Gamescom showcase. I mean, that would be great if they do, considering how late of a reveal we're getting for BO7 this time around. So I'm sure what will end up happening is if they don't reveal the dates during Gamescom, we'll probably see a report somewhere in early September indicating when the beta actually starts. And then they'll, of course, start giving away some codes and making other beta-related announcements during COD Next week, which will be towards the end of September. But when taking a step back for a second, there's actually quite a bit going on within the COD franchise over the next couple of weeks. I mean, we're going to have the Gamescom announcement on August the 19th. Then there'll be a ton of marketing, I'm sure. Season 5 Reloaded should probably kick off towards early September, which we'll talk about in a separate video. And I'm sure with that download will probably come a ton of leaks and a ton of spicy info about the upcoming beta, BO7 specifically, and even some other content. And then before you know it, we'll be playing the beta, probably by the end of that month. That'll come to an end, and I'm sure Season 6 is probably going to start a couple of days after the beta concludes, just to give Black Ops 6 at least one full month of a 6th and final season, where you have a bunch of Halloween crossovers, haunting LTMs, and then after about a month, BO7 will be out. It'll be in a pre-season window, which technically is still Season 6 of BO6, and Season 1 will probably end up starting before Christmas, which is usually around 3 to 4 weeks after the launch of a new Call of Duty. And then to go a little bit further, it looks like the mid-Season 1 update might not be until maybe after the new year, which is kind of cool, because Black Ops 6 last year ended up dropping Season 1 and Season 1 Reloaded before the new year even kicked off. So there was a lot going on in one small window of time. Maybe they're going to spread things out a little bit better this time, which I think could be beneficial for Burnout. And if you're a fan of Battlefield 6, then you also won't have to wait too much longer to play the full launch, which I do plan on jumping into as well. That's going to be around October 10th, right after the beta concludes for BO7. If those dates that we mentioned earlier are accurate, there's going to be a lot going on in the FPS space, but hey, competition is healthy. Everyone's going to be eating well. Let's all come together in unison as a community to enjoy what is going to be an absolute feast for the gaming scene this fall. But something worth mentioning that I'm sure we'll get more context about in an upcoming blog is the way you can actually play the Black Ops 7 beta. Obviously, they recently detached Modern Warfare 2 and 3 from COD HQ, which of course I think optimizes the launcher a lot better, which could ensure a smoother integration of the BO7 beta than the full launch of the game at some point in November. But as you've seen with recent years of COD HQ, the beta will come out, you can cross-launch into it from the current menu that we have, and then you'll of course end up uninstalling all those packs after the beta concludes. But there is a Black Ops 7 button just sitting there in the COD HQ menu right now, which I do suspect is going to be probably how we access the beta at some point soon, and could even become a landing page to where you can pre-order the game. Now, I do want to take this time again to thank everybody for their immense support on the recent content, whether it's the videos, the shorts, the live streams, or anything over on Detonated. It was obviously a bit of a dry start to the summer with not too much going on. The seasonal updates weren't that great for BO6. I'm really hoping for better DLC in BO7. But what ended up starting in June last year, which was a bunch of detailed marketing for the next Call of Duty, unfortunately isn't actually kicking off this year until mid-August, right? We're a couple of days away from all of that kicking off, and I suspect it's going to be non-stop material until probably the end of this year. So as I've said before, thank you for bearing with me. Make sure you guys have notifications on, because I'm sure there'll be quite a bit to break down this week when it comes to multiplayer, Warzone, and even zombies. But that is about it. This has been DK Dynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on the approximate dates of the Black Ops 7 multiplayer beta as of right now? Again, just putting together a bunch of information that has already been out there in the public regarding COD Next and regarding a timeline of what to expect for BO7 this fall. It's obviously on a bit of a different path from BO6 last year, which released a lot earlier, but hey, more time in the oven probably means a better experience at launch. With that being said, really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.